Hey everyone, this is Chris and Sandy Bent with the Chris and Sandy Show. We get up close and personal with some amazing guests throughout the entertainment industry. And today, like I said in every episode, we got a great one for you. Who do we have?
We have Gabriel Jarret with us today. He's an actor, and he recently co-starred in the true tornado survival feature 13 Minutes, the romantic comedy Ask Me to Dance, and the limited series Bring on the Dancing Horses. And you may remember him as the lead opposite Val Kilmer in the comedy Real Genius, in which he played a 14-year-old whiz kid who goes to college. And we're excited to talk to him about all that
And
a lot more.
So welcome to the show.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. You made me sound a lot more exciting than I actually am.
Yeah. So, I always like to start out the same way because the last 18, 20 months or so has been rough for a lot of people, but especially in entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
And we always like to hear different perspectives because, COVID has affected everybody in a different way. So how has COVID affected you and what have you done to maneuver through this?
Oh man, that's like the question of the day, isn't it? Yeah, it's certainly taken an adjustment. It took out the film and television completely. I mean, it just like all of a sudden there was nothing to go to, nothing to do.
Yeah.
And that was rough. Kind of figuring out how to manage finances was rough. Because I noticed, I mean, it's like anything that comes across the news. Some people get the news faster than others, and like the people that are just kind of sitting there frozen, going, "Well, that was
what I do."
Yeah, what? What now? And then you're trying to navigate through government bureaucracy and just like and having people shrug their shoulders and go, well, it is what it is, and that's an interesting answer, but that doesn't pay the bills, And so I was caught in the whole morass of government trying to catch up to making sure that we don't collapse completely. But once I got the hang of it, it was fine for me. I think I'm one of the lucky ones, but I don't think that we've recovered. I don't think we've gotten a new normal, and the new normal isn't even close to normal to me.
Yeah.
And sorry, go ahead.
That's like for us, we launched this show January of 2020. So a couple months before COVID.
Launched it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You planned it that way?
It almost sounds like it, but we launched, it was two months before
everything got
and
shut
our
down.
Original plan was maybe 100 interviews our first year, thought would be a great foundation. And then COVID happens. And as we're watching everything get shut down, I told Sandy, I was like, we can't change COVID, but you know what? We can drive through this thing because everybody's going to need a place to talk, and we're going to give it to them.
Best of it.
And we've done over 500 interviews in 2 years.
You're kidding. Well, I mean, now, were you guys going to be set up live in the studio before, or was it always?
No, it was always going to be like this. Because again, now granted, if we were Jay Leno and had that kind of money, we could fly people in. That'd be great.
Yes, but, maybe someday.
But think about it. Because you had to go to this medium, you guys were set. You guys were the only ones that were set.
We just didn't know it.
We just didn't know at the time, but it did work out.
And what's funny is when we first launched, Sandy said, we'll do this, because it was my idea to launch this show. And she's like, okay, we'll do this together, but
we started audio.
I will never do video.
Oh, silly person, you.
Video is where it's
and then October of 2020, she comes to me and says, do you think it would help if we went video? I was like, I've been waiting for you to say that.
And you didn't even have to do any convincing, did you? You just sat back and went, yeah, all right.
So you've been acting pretty much all your life. When did it click for you that this could actually be a career? Not necessarily when you wanted to act, but when it became where, wow, there's something here.
after, believe it or not, after Real Genius, because that's the one that I'm known for. When I was, it was after Real Genius, because there's that line that like child actors go through to adulthood, and they're looking all wonky and awkward and weird, and that's pretty much when I started. I was wonky, awkward, and weird was right dead center of where I began. So it was after that when things stopped, I would go out on auditions, and producers that would call me in thinking that they were going to get Real Genius, or Mitch Taylor's coming in to read for the whatever. I walked in and they were like, I'm sorry, who are you? Yeah, and because I was 2 feet taller, one arm was longer than the other, I had a unibrow. All of it was just weird, and it's just like they were just like, this is not what we ordered. So that little period of not working until I crossed the threshold of awkward, I guess, was when I stopped and went, okay, all right, am I doing this because all my friends did it? Am I doing this because it's an industry town and that's what or do I really enjoy the work? And that was not as cut and dry a question as you might think. But I arrived pretty solidly on this is what I'm destined to do. This is what I believe I'm good at, and I really have a passion for it. So.
Now, how did Real Genius come on? I mean, how did you get that role?
I auditioned. I mean, it was just about as normal and straightforward as you can imagine. There was no, I wasn't born into a family that was in the business. My dad is writer director, but no, there's no lineage there. He made his stuff happen, just a few years before I did. So it wasn't like I was born into it. It was an audition that was gotten through an agent, a smaller agency that I had picked up as I was muddling through things. And I went on the first one, went on the callback to that. And then there was this will tell you how long ago it was. There was a screen test. And we did a screen test. And yeah, boom! I got the role.
And in this day and time, it's kind of almost a catch-22 because of Netflix and all that, there's a lot more roles for actors and actresses. But at the same time, now you're competing with the world because COVID has made it to where now everybody can audition through Zoom.
Not just forget it, just auditioning through Zoom. You have to, as a performer, because the medium has changed. Like you said, Netflix and all the streaming services have changed the output of the film, of the actual product. So now you're competing with more people to be on a smaller screen, with very few blockbuster opportunities. Every now and then there's a chance that something is going to turn from a small indie film into something huge. Not a lot. When the indie films are going to screen, the ones that are lucky enough to get there, now they pretty much know what their lifespan is going to be. Because it's the audience is built in, and whoever paid for that movie is going to put it out to their people, and they know how many people are going to watch it, basically. So it's not quite the opportunity for things to explode into like these, oh my God, out of nowhere came this underdog thing. And that's what I think is really missing from this new construct.
New world.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, that's actually a perfect lead in to where I want to go now. As you know, a lot of people, they see the glory in what you do, but they don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles it takes, not just to get to your level and above, but even just a basic career within entertainment. I always want to talk about that because I think that a lot of people think if you got talent, you got it made. But we both know that that's not true. So take us back a little bit and tell us a few moments and talk about some of the sacrifices and struggles you've had to go through to get to where you are today.
Right. Well, first of all, I have to ask you, because you said there's a level above mine. I'm just saying. I wasn't aware. Anyway. So like the struggle is in sacrifices. Oh my God. Well, my bank account will tell you what the struggles are. Actually, it's pretty good at telling you the sacrifices too. What you do is you end up having to accept that there is this that goes on in your financial life and your daily life, and it's doesn't really seem to have any predictable triggers. The only predictable trigger I've had in my career was COVID, because everybody hit it at the same time, you know. But none of us can predict it, so it's like it just happened. But the up and down of the financial thing is something that I don't think most people. I mean, most people realize it if they've tried it at all. If they try to do any sort of hard work and turn it into a business, it's like, oh, geez, you know, do I want to, you know, eat for the rest of my life, or do I want to make this a career? I got lucky. I was able to balance it out because I found a little bit later on in life that I had another talent. The skill set was the same for interpreting American Sign Language. So I started doing that, and started doing that in between the times that, you know, just kind of smoothed this into a more like that. But until that time, it was wildly, it was brutal. Not even an exaggeration. It really was.
And we get exactly where you're coming from, because even though we just launched this show, we don't have a ton of money. We're not backed by a radio station, a TV station. Yeah. It's just we do side jobs in the evening. We deliver food so we can stay afloat. So we were one of the essential workers that actually got to work a little bit through the COVID.
Yes.
But we still do all that while we build this brand, because again, we're not, we just do what we got to do. And so that's why I love having guests on our show who are in the entertainment world, because we get where you're coming from.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, like if the really funny moment for me was when, somebody I never would have expected, would be driving for Uber. And I found out, because it turns out to be a really good friend of mine now, and as it should be. But my agent, when your agent has to drive for Uber, that's a bad sign.
It's tough.
It's tough.
That's a very bad sign. But no, he was in between agencies. So to his credit, and he was unabashed. He was just like, look, we do what we got to do, and. And he's gotten me through some tough times and been there for me. So I stuck with him.
And like, I remember hearing someone on an audio years ago that talked about some of the things they had to go through to get to the top of their industry. And I'll never forget what they said. They said, you may not have to do what I did, but you have to be willing to, or you'll never make it.
Oh, wow. Who said that? I would love to know that.
I can't remember who it was, but it was one of the business. But again, I'll never forget that line, because again, that's so true. You're like, everybody's journey is different. So you have to be willing to, wherever that journey leads you.
It takes.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to do it, or you're just not going to get there.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, and it's like you said, willing to do whatever it takes. And that's going to leave a lot of this in place, in all of your life, financially, and where you're living, and if you have kids, what school they go to, and all of that is affected.
Yep.
And then ultimately, you're gonna take off and do something for 3 months, when you were expecting to spend vacation with the family, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just. It's part of being in the circus. When the circus moves, you move.
Or you might have an interview set up. We've had several of this with actors where the morning of their agent would call, email us and say, "Oh, we will have to reschedule. He just got a call to audition."
On the morning of.
So again, it's one of them things to where
on the morning of the interview.
Yeah. So of course, just happens. And the audition happened to be for like right around the same time as the interview was going to be. So we've learned even with that, you know what, you're pretty much on call 24. If they say come, you have to go because that could be the role you're waiting for.
Yeah, there's that, which is your choice, and then there's the contractual choices where you really wouldn't have made that choice before, but guess what, you signed. And it's like, oh geez, really? And there's horror stories abound throughout the entertainment industry on that one. Oh, wow. Yeah. Anyway,
so now that we talked a little bit about the sacrifice and struggle side, let's flip the script and go the other way. What are a few wow moments for you? Because we like to hear those too. Because again, I don't want people to think, oh, it's all doom and gloom, because it's not. But when the wow moments come, they're awesome.
Highlight.
Yeah, the wild moments. There's been a lot. What do you consider wild? What's your definition?
Well, wow, WOW.
Oh wow, okay. I thought you said wild. I'm like, a little different story. I'm like, okay, is your audience ready for this conversation? Because I got a lot of wild moments and just warning. Yeah. Anyway, so wow moments. Yeah. Well, there's been stuff like I got hired to do a publicity thing after I think it was Karate Kid 3. And it was something that my publicist had gotten for me completely on his own, and I don't know who he told them I was. But when they landed at the airport, there's a stretch limo waiting, and they're taking me by practically motorcade because they had an advanced car, and like they had set up it was an autograph signing. That's all it was. But I went into this mall and there was a line that was out the mall. I'm like, oh, there's some movie come out or something like that. And they're waiting for you. And I was like, who's waiting for me? And it was like, what the heck? I had no idea that Are you
back? There you are.
Oh, you're back. Yep.
You're back.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I panicked for a second myself. Yes, we're back.
You just never know when it comes to technology, right?
Yeah.
When was no kidding. What was the last thing I said?
You were talking about the line around the building.
Yes.
Yeah, the line was around the building, and I was just like, okay, that's a little bit of overkill, maybe. I don't think they're. Did you say my name, or did you accidentally say the Beatles are coming? Or what is it? But no, it was for me. They knew exactly who I was, and it was just that's where the mindset was, I guess, for Karate Kid 3, which turned out great. No, but it was a wow moment for me. It was because I was like, what? I really feel uncomfortable here. You know, I keep looking behind me to see what actor is going to be coming in, and hoping to God Will Smith walks in and goes, "Wait, just kidding."
It's like one of the SpongeBob episodes. We watch a lot of that because of our kids, but they got a SpongeBob episode where they're on the top of a bus and they're playing music and there's a big crowd and they think that it's the crowd's cheering for them and they're cheering for a meteor shower that's going around.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
I was the kid that after the puppet show stood up and took a bow when people were clapping. So I must tell you, I understand the feeling. Yeah, that's where the ego was born.
Wow. So, a lot of people, they see you, but they don't see the team behind you. In our opinion, teams never get the love they deserve. Don't. On our show, they get some love. So take a few moments to tell us about the team that helps you be who you are.
Oh God, the team has been my agent Peter Calanteras, and the the list is really long, and the problem is that probably half my list is going to go away because they're going to go, oh well, we weren't worth a mention, huh? Oh, really great. Oh, that's so but there's the famed, fantastic Jane Jenkins, Janet Hershenson of the casting company, with Michael Hershenson running it from the business side, and already mentioned my age. I'm like running through. Shannon McCanyon, another fantastic casting director. So if I run through the list of casting directors, man, we're gonna be here for a while. There's been a lot of that have stepped in and really.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but
and call me that again and again and again because what? Yeah.
It takes a village to make it work. Yeah, because everybody again they see you as the front man, but again it's the village that makes it all happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's been quite a few cooks in the pot here that actually if I don't mention Pam Grimes from Herbie Grimes, that talent agency, she'll kill me. So I don't want to be hunted down by any member of the Grimes family, Scott, you included. So yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of people that have, like you said, It does take a village. There's a lot of people that are behind me, and it feels good. It feels really, really good. But at the same time, it feels like when things aren't going so well and the jobs aren't coming in, you feel kind of guilty. You're like, oh, geez, I'm letting everybody down.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Speaking of teams, we have a third co-host, our 10-year-old that we allow to come on and ask a few questions. So Sandy's going to go get him.
I will get him.
Please bring him on.
And we've got a 3-year-old little daughter, or almost 3-year-old daughter. She'll be 3 this month.
Congratulations!
When she gets older, she'll be plugged in. So she's in her nap now. We put her down for a nap during the show, but eventually she'll
get a chance to talk to me without her. Like, hey, I'm the center of attention. I don't care who's on that screen. If the president can be on that screen, you go.
That is definitely her.
Daddy. Yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely her. She's got to be the center of attention.
Yeah.
And it's funny because with brother being 10, we always have to tell him when she acts a certain way. He's like, you did that too. When you were her age, you did the same thing.
Yeah, but does he believe you? My guess is probably not.
I have no idea. Yeah. He's like, really? I was like, yeah, you there were some things you did worse and some things you did better, but either way, you still did this.
Yeah, but you know what? He's not going to believe you. He's not going to believe you until he gets to that point that he has his own child, and his own child is going to go, oh, we were just talking about someone like you. See, you're not. Now I can actually include you in the conversation. You see, you're not going to believe Dad until you have your own child, and your own child starts displaying some behavior that's exactly like yours.
Yeah.
And you're.
See, I told him how when Caitlin does stuff, I have to tell you that you used to do that when you was her age.
And you're going to say something along that I'm paraphrasing now. It's something along the lines of. Why are you such a ninny? Why do you insist on screaming? And why can't you just be? Oh my God, I sound like my dad. And it's gonna hit you, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, he was right." No, you're gonna realize that all these things do.
Okay, hi, Gabriel. So, what's your favorite food?
What did the what?
What favorite food?
Favorite food.
My favorite food. Oh yeah, my favorite food. Let's see. Wow, this is gonna be tough. I love Thai food. I love Thai food. It's spicy, but I love it. So I'd say probably like a Thai. They have different names, or I just don't remember it in Thai. But they have a glass noodles with chicken and mint. Chicken and mint. That's it. That I love.
What's yours?
Mine is pizza.
Pizza? Here's the thing about pizza. Now, Dad, I know you've avoided telling him this. When you hit age 25, pizza disappears.
Yeah.
Pizza goes bye-bye. Never to be seen again. Especially for the males. We just go and then we go... And it just doesn't exist after 25, or it hasn't for me, and it's a big time shame.
Oh, all right. So, what's your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show. Favorite TV show is of all time or currently running?
Either way.
all time currently running. Well, any of them that I'm on. Favorite TV show of all time. Oh my God. I think it would have to be Saturday Night Live. I was addicted to it when I was a kid. I'm still addicted. There you go. Yeah.
Because what's yours?
I love comedy.
Mine is SpongeBob.
So Dad was talking about that. He told me about that, and apparently there are a lot of lessons to be learned from SpongeBob.
All right. What's your favorite movie?
My now we really are talking about stuff that I'm in. No, favorite movie that I'm sadly not in. I've said I've got a bunch of favorite movies, and this one always comes out at the top. But Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump. It's got to be.
We're located in Savannah, Georgia.
You're kidding. You know what? I caught the accent, just a little bit. But yeah, no, that's Forrest Gump has got to be one of my favorites of all time because it's such a ballsy movie. It just really is. It took a lot of guts for them to do it, and because from what I heard, I got to work with Tom Hanks and they did a lot of we have no idea if this thing is going to work or not. They had no idea that because he's playing somebody, and he's this anti-hero, like this hero that you never think is the hero, but and he ends up in all these situations. It's just like they didn't know whether it was going to fall flat on its face, which it could have. And the only reason that I think it didn't, that it rang so true, was because of his performance and the fact that he just committed to it so completely. That
every movie he's in, he commits. I mean, he
commits completely. Well, yeah, and I mean, and that in fairness, that is his job. I understand that, but when you have something that's that is making your jaw hit the floor that much and go, oh my God, I really don't know if this is going to work, and you do it anyway. I'm just saying, man, that was a good movie, and it was just hit on all levels. So well written, well directed, everything. Acted, everything. Yeah.
All right, mine is the Minions movie.
Which one?
The Minions.
Minions.
Minions. Oh, you know what? That would have to be my second. That would be my second. Absolutely, I love Minions.
They've built a strong brand.
I love them. And what a brilliant idea to give these characters that are supposed to be supporting characters in the movie their own, because they're such an iconic character.
And you know what's funny? We just learned the other day we had who was it? We had he was whoever was talking about that the Minions when they first launched the show, the movie, they didn't have a voice, and I think somebody in the background made a funny voice, and they're like, "That's it, that's what we want." And
right, right, exactly, and it's this nonsensical language. It's all of a sudden, you're kind of. First of all, they use the last word of whatever they're going to say to kind of give away what they were saying. But the rest of the sentence, even without that last word, is still kind of understandable, even though they're going, and they're just doing it by tone. It's awesome.
Exactly.
Here, let me fix this one too. Mm-hmm.
It's funny. I usually have mine on Do Not Disturb, and I was like, I heard my phone vibrate.
I heard it too,
and I'm like, oh, I didn't undo that. I was like, because the bad thing about StreamYard is if you get a phone call. Now we've never had it, so I don't know if it works on our end like this. But every time a guest has ever gotten a phone call in the middle of it, they can no longer hear us. They have to actually log out and back in. Now, granted, if that happened if it happened to us, I would know immediately log out and back in.
Right. But now that you know what it is, but otherwise it's just what happened. Well,
and I'm trying to tell them. So and I'm trying to mouth. I'm like, I can't hear you, and I'm I'm
yeah.
And sometimes I forget
know.
that there's a private chat, but in the room that I could actually click through. In fact, one of them
turn around and go, "What the hell just happened?"
Exactly.
Yeah. No. Now that you said that, I'm looking over at that's what that's for.
Oh.
But yeah, it's But yeah, again, you got to chat. We can private chat with this and all that.
But
yep. See, I see that.
Yeah,
I sent a secret message. I did.
So, if you could co-star with any actor or actress, who would it be, and what role would you want to play?
Oh God. I'm just hoping that very soon I will get to work with the famed, fantastic, and not just famous, but infamous Christopher Walken.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah.
Just just because at some point I'm just gonna have to bust out into something along the lines of, "Hey, Chris, sad he no." If you understand me, because I'll have to kill you. Just to watch him go, "You doing me?" No, not really. No, not very well. But I've always wanted to work with Christopher Walken. He's awesome.
Oh yeah.
So, what's a movie or show that you've watched that you wish you had a role in?
Movie or show that? Oh wow! I'll tell you right now. Oh, because I auditioned for it and I didn't get it. There's quite a few of those, but one of the really painful ones was Black Hawk Down.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Yeah, I just I was looking at it going, I want to play toy soldier just like that. No, it was a really, really well directed, and it was a popcorn movie. Granted, I mean, it was definitely a huge success, but it was really well done too. It was not glossed over or homogenized like movies are. It really, really did have quite a bit of that nasty shit that goes up. Sorry, that nasty stuff that goes on in movies.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever went out for an audition and you got a rejection, and then when the movie comes out, you're like, "Oh, that's why they didn't pick me"?
Yes, and it's usually followed with the phrase, "Thank God." Oh,
Like,
as if they wanted that, they did not want me.
Because that's one of the problems with the entertainment world, especially with actors, is you get this rejection, they don't tell you why, and so you take it personally a lot of times. And
sometimes they don't even tell you at all.
As I'm saying, they don't tell you why.
They don't tell you you're rejected.
So you don't know.
You just don't get the call for work. There's nobody that calls up saying disappointing news. No. You just don't hear.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. So what's been your hardest role to play?
Wow. Well, okay. There's two answers to this. Hard as in, oh boy, I'm not gonna. Okay, the hardest role to play for me thus far that I'm really, really proud of. Nobody's going to be able to rent or see or ever see it again because it was never taped. It was a live performance on stage that we did of Children of the Lesser God. And the reason for it being my most difficult and one of my prouder moments is that we had 2.5 weeks to put up this play.
Oh wow!
Which takes twice as long as any normal play, and 2.5 weeks is not even long enough for a normal play. So and this was a Broadway series of out in San Bernardino, California Theater of the Arts, and it was the end of their season, and this is what they wanted to put up. And all of us, after the producer accepted it, we all wanted to look at them and go, "What were you thinking?" Because in addition to the short amount of time, just blocking and all the stuff that goes on in normal plays, but my character has to not only know my part, but I also have to memorize her lines as well, because in that particular play, they decided to have the relevant information for the audience to be gone through him. So he's actually interpreting for Sarah. So I have to know my dialogue. And then, never mind not bump into the furniture and know where I'm standing. So there was all that. And then, because they didn't feel like they had enough time to flesh it out completely, which they didn't, they wanted to cut, vital scenes out of this man's play, which is for theater, it's not like movies where you just go, oh, that's gone, nobody cares. No, that's like a you don't do that. You run the whole play the way it was written, and or you die. So we had to mutiny just to get the thing on stage the way the author had admitted to be seen. So we got it done, but despite that, we got standing ovations every night, and we were just it was really nice to hear the audience instant reaction to something that, again, we didn't know whether we were pulling this off, or if we were just gonna flat on our face fail, because we really could have. There were many chances of it, and what sucks is nobody ever got any of it on tape. You can't,
and you had to try to repeat it every night, of course.
Every night,
that's probably in its own thing, because there are probably some nights you're like, man, I nailed that. How am I going to match that?
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. You know what night that was for me?
What?
Night number 2, night number 3. Night it just every night I'm going, okay,
it got better.
I love when is this other shoe gonna drop,
Wow. Love that. So what's been your most fun role to play?
Fun has to be Apollo 13.
Yeah,
I got to be techie. I got to send people to space.
That's pretty cool.
And then I crashed the ship.
Not good.
Well, no, it was my system that exploded, so it's not like I crashed it. I didn't literally steer into an asteroid or anything, but it was my system and it blew up, and I'm a little ashamed.
Love that.
I take responsibility for
that. So where do you plan on being or want to be in 5 years?
Working?
Especially after COVID, right?
After COVID, I'll be happy to be alive, I think I think a healthy pace of work would be therapeutic for me, and things are moving in that direction, which is great. I have no idea how I lucked out through COVID and actually have stuff coming out now, which is weird. It's so many of my colleagues have just been not so lucky.
Tell us about some of the stuff that you do have coming.
Well, I have Bring on the Dancing Horses, a series that just made a splash at Sundance. We got rave reviews. This is always good. And I actually can't tell you what streaming service it's going to be on because it has not been chosen yet.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
But it will be chosen. The folks at Sundance absolutely loved it, and the reviews are splashed all over the Sundance page now. And so I've got that coming out, which is a Western-ish theme. And Kate Bosworth is the lead and producer of it, and Michael Polish directed it. And it's just a really, really fun, creative project. And then the other one coming out is, I think you mentioned it in the beginning, Ask Me to Dance is going to be out, that I got to do with my buddy Tom Malloy, who wrote and directed it, by the way, and starred in it, produced it, which is daunting for anybody, no matter what your skill level or how long you've been in the business. It's just, man, got no sleep whatsoever. I don't know how he did it. But that's going to be coming out, and both of them we were checked for COVID every 2 days.
Wow.
we had to do all the work to make sure that, like, we did it right and made sure that everybody went home at the end of the day. And
Exactly.
And still, even though we still had outbreaks, we still had to, replace the DP and the first AD for Bring On the Dancing Horses. There was that changeover because they got COVID. How? Who knows?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And what would you like for your legacy to be in the entertainment world? What would you like to be most known and remembered for?
I'm going to have a legacy. What would I like it to be? I'd like to affect as many people as possible, and affect them. I'd like to have them,
but not infect, right?
Oh yeah, big difference there.
The what kind of effect?
I said, but not infect, right?
No, not infect. Yeah, no COVID transmission.
Right.
But no, I would like to.
Our screen is out, so I'm trying to get us back on.
Yeah.
I'd love to do completely. Oh, is this the Gabe Jarret show now?
I don't know what happened.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
No, you guys can stay gone. It's okay. I'll just keep talking about me. Yeah, that should be no problem at all. So are you guys going to come back, or should I just finish out on my own?
We're trying to come back.
Well, we're coming back. You can just
okay. We're going to come back. No, I want to affect as many people as possible, and I mean affect them in a way that like is really special to them, that that every actor wants to do, and just whatever the performance may be. It may be just a moment. We've all walked out of movies going, do you remember the scene where so and so did, and you just saw the look on his face. And usually, if you notice, it's not just dialogue. It's like it's the moments after. It's the reactions.
Yeah.
That get people, and I want to have as many of those as possible.
Wow. And it's funny. I was telling you, don't want to infect people, and then my phone goes out. You are infecting us.
And that's the Lord telling you something.
That was crazy.
Something has infected your studio there.
With doing over 500 interviews in the past 2 years, a lot can happen.
Anything can happen. We've learned to expect that.
We just got to roll with it.
Expect the unexpected. Yeah.
Totally, but it went black and we came up, and you were dying.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's horrific, isn't it? This was a children's show. Not until you invited me. No, it's not a children's show.
If you could say anything to your fans and followers, what would you want to tell them?
Don't give up. Please, please continue to show me the love that you have, and thank you so much for doing it. Yeah, man. I mean, I love them because they keep me afloat. And remind me that the work that I have done already has actually affected them, and man, it's a good feeling. That's why I want that to be my legacy.
Love that. So as we start to close out here, what advice would you give somebody who wants to do what you do?
Run. Don't look back. No, run. No, I mean, just if you want to do well, nobody can do what I do. But if you want to be an actor and performer, just do it. And don't wait for somebody to give you a job to do it. Do it on your, and that's what's so nice about now is you get on YouTube with a good idea, and guess what? You got yourself a career, you got followers, you got all the accoutrement that comes along with it. So just do it.
Yeah, it's crazy the money that somebody like I there's this one
YouTube in comparison to what I make. Anyway, he was saying,
and it's crazy talking about YouTube. There's this one YouTube channel that I watch from time to time. He kind of exposes scams and stuff and like that. But every month, because he exposes things, he also wants to make sure he's transparent. So he shows all his YouTube income and all that. And I'm like last year stunned because like last November, just for YouTube money, I think it was $58,000 that month.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And again, he's just a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I get scammed all the time. Does that mean if I bust the scammers and I get it on tape, like, what a great idea? But no, that's fantastic, man. And so that's really the advice I would have, because it's not really, it's a new world, and it's a new, it's the Wild West out there, and anybody can and has the same opportunity to make it happen. So do it.
Yep, it's definitely different than it was 20 years ago. Again, I mean, like I think in 2000 or 2020 or 19, one of the 2 years, I seen a article that was on your top 10 most paid YouTubers, and number 1 was a 9-year-old boy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think I saw that kid run by me. I was actually interpreting the YouTube conference. I forget what it's called. Where all the YouTubers come to, how to do it. And I was actually and there was this mob that ran through, and it was just like a whole group of people that were just running through the lobby of this convention center, like sprinting, and they were all under like 5 feet. And I'm like, wow. What happened? Like it was like a bunch of children, and like the whole place smelled like OxyClean, and like whatever the anyway, so like you would have thought the Beatles had run through the thing, but unfortunately that I just dated myself, because no, it was that 9-year-old boy that you were talking about.
Oh, wow.
And
we're in a different world.
We are.
Yeah. It's for me, it's like a little bit like walking on the moon, but I kind of appreciate it too, because it's no longer in the hands of the people that I used to have to count on, to get a job.
Exactly.
And so it's kind of leveled the playing field. I like that.
Love that. So as we close out here, tell everybody how they can find you.
Where they can find me? Oh, you mean like social media? Oh, I know. I'm on Facebook. Just type in my name, and everything else is at Gabe Jarret on Snapchat, at Gabriel Jarret for Instagram, or hashtag Gabriel Jarret, whatever. Just it's my name. If you spell my name right, you will find it.
We really enjoyed having you today.
We did.
We
this
definitely
was a lot of fun.
Look forward to having you back.
Thank you. I would love to come back as soon as possible. Hopefully, I'll have some more stuff to talk about.
Sounds great.
Sounds good.
You have a great day.
Thanks for your time today.